use 15 and I use 16 in preseason basketball.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be interesting to see what they have.
If they can blend all those guys together.
Yeah.
Because three of them were big time stars at other places, and they're used to being the hot big dog.
Just need to have an idea, set them up.
Pardon me?
Mike would make them play.
Oh, yes. Oh, I'm just wonderful. No complaints.
We think that we need to say something about it because they're spreading that, but it's important to
It went back off. Mine keeps going off after.
No, it's on right now.
Okay.
We'll see how long it stays on.
Mr. Todd?
You hope.
Are you hiding that now?
Just trying to get everything. I want to eat this, but then it'll be like a mess in my mouth, so I'm not going to. I'll save that guy for later. Now this I might eat during the meeting. Depends. Yeah, we sold jalapeno and ginger and I went to Yes.
I guess it requires a little labor.
It was pretty loud. I'm a little disappointed.
I have 5:30.
Okay.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to call the regular town council meeting to order with roll call. Jason Little.
Here.
Tricia Ball.
Here.
Kevin Burke.
Here.
Mike Johannes.
Here.
Brian Moore.
Here.
Okay, the first thing we have on the agenda for tonight is approval of the minutes from September 9th, 2024.
Make a motion to approve the regular council minutes from September 9th, 2024. Second.
Have a first and second from Jason and Brian. All those in favor, say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Let be known it passes 5-0. Next thing we have is comments from the floor. You have anybody that'd like to address anything? If not, I'm going to move on to comments from myself. Just want to remind everybody that we will be having early voting here in the town of Santa Claus, beginning on October 26th, Saturday, from 9 to 3, and Monday through Friday, October 28th through November 1st, 9 to 4, at the Civic Center over here. Then, of course, on Saturday, November 2nd, from 9 to 3, and regular hours on that following Tuesday from 6 to 6. Glad to see that we have early voting here. We were not able to have it for the town election 2 years ago already.
Yeah.
Yep.
Correct.
Wow.
Didn't make
So-
any sense.
Nope.
But just spread the word around if people want to get out. I wish it was a little bit later in the evening, catch some people, but those are the hours that the county assigned. The other thing I want to remind everybody that we do have an APC meeting next Monday at the same time here at this office. Anybody like to attend? I have nothing else. You guys have anything?
Jimmy Wagner contacted me today and said that they finally have the fourth Christmas tree done, and it's going to go up this week, so.
Yay.
And then he's going to move on to take a look at the statue out front, so.
Those are the trees that went with the Santa Claus entrance.
Yeah, I think we actually wrote a check to him at one point and then never gave it to him, so you might, for all 4 trees, you might look.
See, the check is still floating
Yeah,
around.
I think it was before I,
It's gonna be stalemated, but yeah, we'll
Yeah.
issue the check to them.
okay,
I'll find it.
right. Okay, that's all I have.
Yeah, we're gonna bring up, yes. You start now.
I wanna make it public, over the back 9 development issues, I was approached in front of Holiday Foods in Dale. I was approached, 2 other places and a couple of phone calls was made. Want to know why the town of Santa Claus hindered the back 9 development from receiving a ready grant. I want it to be known publicly that this council, our town attorney, Todd, went above and beyond to try to make this happen. There was special meetings scheduled. I don't know how much time that Kevin has put towards it without charge. Didn't charge the town, did not charge back 9 or anybody, and we still got kicked over it, being accused of doing everything possible to hinder them from getting the ready grant.
And more than anything, we want development. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we're hungry for development, we're hungry for housing. And so that people think that we are the ones delaying it, it just needs to be known that we would do it. We want it.
There was
We
tax
want it.
dollars spent to put notices in newspapers, to have special meetings. They didn't meet deadlines to bring prints and stuff for Kevin and for, Todd and Russ to look over to approve. So, I don't feel that was the town's fault in any way, or any of these folks' fault in any way for this happened. This was just negligence on their part, wanting to pass the buck off to somebody else.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%.
And we want it, so.
Yeah, we've been working on that for over 2 years.
That's my spiel.
Yep.
They also lost their funding from the county
Oh, shoot.
because they didn't meet the deadlines.
Oh. And if nothing else, we need it.
Right.
We need that here. People need housing, we need, you know, more to bring people in, and, we'll work with them when they have their ducks in a row.
I think they're getting there now.
I think so too. I think, Russ,
After
that
2
a lot has happened, according to, yes. So that's good, we're getting there. Anything else? Okay.
But they will be at the meeting next week.
The
supposedly.
APC,
They say they will, but
Yeah.
Okay,
they meet
I
about
hope
10
so.
different meetings, they never go up one.
So,
okay, I hope so.
that is a public meeting too. Okay, if not, we move on to the fire department.
You've got my monthly report for the month of September. We had 16 total runs, 11 EMR, 2 field fires, 1 fire alarm, 1 smoke in a residence, and we took a engine to the Dale Fall Fest parade. We do have a new truck. It arrived September 18th at Evansville. It's at Jerry's. They're in the process of setting the pump, and they'll work on the body. So he's still hoping for the end of the year. So that's going. Last Thursday, we had all our pumps tested at the Arch Abbey with St. Margaret. We share the costs with them. They all pass. Also, last Thursday, we spent the morning at Lincoln Trails School with the school kids, all morning till lunch. So, and we took the truck yesterday to Dale to the August Day parade they hosted. So,
Nice turnout.
yeah,
Was it
really nice.
good?
There's about 40 entries in that parade.
More than that, yeah.
Yeah, so. Don't forget the next Saturday, or 2 Saturdays, is the Madison County Clean Out Dale, or the clean out at our station, Carter Fire, St. Minor, and Rockport. So 4 stations in the county. You can bring your own drugs and dispose of them. So I've got one other thing,
Um,
go ahead.
Here you got Station 7, is that us? 7
No,
to,
7 noon.
7 to noon?
7.
Yeah, it's
Seven.
Fire
fire
station.
Okay.
After the fire station from 7 to noon,
It
I should
moved
put
the
a
line.
comment in
No,
there.
it's
Okay,
okay.
that's here though, during
Right,
that
It's
time.
all 4 stations.
Because I thought St. Minor was at a different time.
That's what they told me, so.
Okay,
Always the standard 7 to noon.
Yeah,
Should be at the same time.
Yeah.
yeah.
okay.
We'll be
Check
down
with
there
Donna.
along with James, we'll have a guy down there too, so. I've got one other thing that's not on your agenda. Back in July, we get emails that belong to the National Volunteer Fire Council. And State Farm, Good Neighbors, they were gonna do a grant. They were gonna give 50 grants for $10,000. So we had so long, every department, she had to meet certain criteria. And we tried for that grant, the site crashed within an hour, there were so many fire departments. The site come back up, we got the application in. Well, in the meantime, they awarded another 50 grants. So they were gonna make, at first it was 50 $10,000 grants. So then they changed it to 100 $10,000 grants. So we did get awarded last week for a $10,000 grant
Great.
from State Farm.
That's awesome.
And we can use it on equipment for the new truck, so,
Fabulous.
Outstanding.
yeah, so, got that, so.
Congratulations.
Good.
That's all I got.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good.
Max, the ends for the upstairs are those?
Kevin, I had him look over them and we'll open them next
Oh,
week.
already, next month?
Yeah.
The deadline's over then already?
No, we haven't even started yet, I'll get it in this week. So, yeah, Kevin, I emailed him, I want him to look over, make sure everything's good.
I got a couple people asking.
Cool,
Yeah, I'll get them all up to Jane,
good,
so, that's all I got.
excellent.
We'll be going down, I'll get pictures, he'll send us pictures from time to time as the truck goes on, so.
Awesome. Thank you. Is that cool times, cool times? It's gonna start getting
Little
cold.
chilly. Yeah, I think I got about 5 layers on.
Yeah,
You got my monthly reports, we're seeing our annual uptick, in memberships in the fall, so that's good down at the community center. We're wrapping up fall sports, actually, they just wrapped up this weekend, so that's what I was working on today, is preparing all the traffic from hundreds of little boats on soccer fields, so. Very, no receding, we got a bridge to repair, and, had a meeting today with, REA, Lawrence Berger and Associates, regarding putting together the new plan for the park. John, Jesse, and myself were a part of that call. So we're working to form the steering committee. If any of you are interested in being a part of that, feel free to let me know, and we'll get you included on those teams meetings. I'll be sure to keep you all updated as that progresses. As far as ready, I have not heard anything. I guess I can try to make a contact and just see where things are at with that. I know the Lido has changed for the county, so I don't know what's going on with all that. I think that's pretty much it. The only major item I had was Jennifer Rich has expressed interest in filling Jesse Mullen's term on the park board, and the park board has always recommended her to you all. So,
So if we go ahead and make that a,
Yeah, I do have a certificate of appointment in your packets,
Okay.
for your review, but yeah, we could get a vote from appointing her to the Parks Board.
Jennifer has worked at Holiday World forever, and I know her, she's a really, I think she'll be a good addition to the park board.
yeah, they've got young kids that are still playing in the park, and they're already very involved with soccer and other things, and
so is that,
doing a lot of bad things.
She will be fulfilling Jesse Mullen's remainder of her term.
okay. So do I have a motion for you guys to give me permission to sign this?
Yeah, I make a motion to authorize Kevin to sign the appointment.
Have a first?
Do we need to, we need to
Appoint.
appoint first?
To appoint.
Okay. I'll second it.
Okay.
Okay, have a first and second
To
to
appoint.
appoint Jennifer Rich to the Park Board. Any other comments? If not, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Let it be known it passes 5-0.
One other item I have, or items, I should say, trick or treat trail will be 11 to 1 on October 26th down the park. And then we do, we're working with the State Department of Health to host a flu clinic, November 18th, I believe, from 8 to 12 at the community center.
Okay. Also, if we could tie into this trick or treat, if we could set the hours for October 31st. Christmas Lake Village is having theirs from 5 to 8. I don't know if we want to follow the same times as them, or if we want to extend it or
No, do
start
it the
early.
same.
I think we just follow the same time they
Yes,
do.
yeah.
It's kind of been what we've always done, I think.
Okay. So, the police department, if you can put it on your agenda, there's gonna be a lot of goblins out that night from 5 to 8. I don't think I need a motion for that, do we?
No.
You got it, I think.
The flu clinic, the 18th, you think? Okay,
Yeah, the 18th, Monday the 18th.
that's a cool thing. We've not done that before, have we?
Not in my tenure.
No, I don't think we have. That's cool.
What time's that?
8 to 12 a.m.
From, on the 18th of November.
Yeah, they said they typically run for 4 hours, and I figured, especially the most vulnerable, our senior community, would
Yeah,
be a good opportunity for them, so we'll get that advertised and, yeah.
cool.
Are they doing the COVID shots there too, or?
Correct, yes, yep.
Oh, it's
both of
gonna be the flu and the
COVID and
COVID.
flu,
Good.
Yep, yep. And then I'm working with the Red Cross on maybe trying to get a blood drive scheduled at some point, and then also, Memorial Hospital has expressed interest in doing,
Like a health fair.
health screening,
Awesome.
so.
Yeah. Get that community going.
We're working on it.
Good, I know you are.
Thank you very much.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Good evening. Finally got my report, and I was out of town last week. You guys get my report, any questions on that?
They've got the concrete report.
Yes.
We've been watching.
One more section. to do.
Yeah.
And it's moved over.
Yeah, I know. So sad.
Yeah. We did discuss a couple of complaints last month. One of them, I think we decided nothing we could do. And then the other, I did send a letter. And, there's been an improvement, but they're still working on one vehicle, so. But I did get a letter from the homeowner. She was very, very upset with how that went, but not mad, but she came in.
She was touched and, she came into the office and was shedding some tears over the violation and very concerned about it, so, she did turn in a letter explaining the
Mhm.
situation.
So I think that's headed in the right direction, so. I guess that's pretty much it for me. Any other questions?
I have nothing.
All right. Thank you, guys.
I
Thank
guess
you,
we
Todd.
see you next Monday.
Good evening. All I have is my monthly report. And October, she was out off the off, but recovering from a wonderful week of COVID, so I don't have a whole lot to say now.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 days of fever, it was really nice.
That's hard on an adult.
Nobody else now?
No, wife and kids fine. I was just happy the wife wasn't being, she's pregnant, but,
No.
yeah. But, knock on wood, everybody's healthy,
Mhm.
and I feel much better. And I feel better as the day went on.
Yeah, good.
Didn't know if you might have any questions.
I have something, I guess, from last month. I started reading the minutes today a little bit closer. We purchased some guns through the rainy day fund. And what are we doing with the old guns?
We discussed reselling them back to the employees, but I'm waiting on a gun shop to give me a reasonable price for them, and then I'll bring that back to you.
Okay.
See if you guys are okay
Now,
with
is that gonna be available for other people to buy?
Generally, it's just to the police department, the officers that actually carry the weapon, they're the ones qualified on probably insurance reasons.
Okay, so we're gonna get an estimate from,
I'll get what their value is,
uh-huh,
and then I'll bring that value back to you guys, and you can say, that's too cheap, or that's
okay,
not enough, or whatever.
okay.
We'll kind of determine from there.
And,
Most of the agencies do resell them back, and I've seen them sold back from $1 to $300. So I wanna see what the gun shop says they're worth. Some of them are really old, so they may not be worth as much as the other ones, but I can kind of figure that out as we get a price.
Maybe
Okay.
that value
Across
from
the board.
Dave's gun shop, right, is what you're taking them to get value?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll let them determine what they're worth.
They're all still true, right? True shot.
What's that?
Like,
Yeah,
True
they all
shot,
still
okay.
shoot good.
yeah.
Yeah, they're good guns to shoot, they're just.
We can't be liable for that if a gun.
No,
Okay,
absolutely not.
that's-
No, everything would be, so part of the resale back to the employee would entail them, they would have to take it and get it registered, and
Right.
take it out of Santa Claus.
Right.
Put it in their name, and it's like a $25 fee.
Yeah.
That would be part of their pricing,
okay,
Okay,
would be to make sure it gets taken out of our hand,
okay.
liability off of us.
And once they're sold, I'd like to see that money go back to the same fund where we advance the money to the rainy day fund.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also to put on your thoughts, I'd like to see it included in the 26 budget, where we start budgeting for a new gun every 5 years for each one,
Absolutely, yeah. That's
so we
my
don't
plan
get hit
for
with
5
something
years.
like that again.
Yep, yep, I agree.
You guys have any other questions? So keep us posted.
Yep, absolutely, thank you.
Glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, thank you.
so much orange netting everywhere.
Good evening, everybody. Hope everyone's well. Until now. I'll try to keep it painless and short and talk. I have something that got booked tonight. We can breeze through the trail real quickly. We have nothing really to report other than we're still working on engineering, surveying, et cetera, for the approximate 1 mile of the Santa Claus Lincoln Discovery Trail going on out at the high school. I have nothing else on the trails unless council has any questions.
The only thing I have is I do have a quote for Santa Claus exterior cleaning about power washing the wooden bridges on the trails. This is something that the Parks Department has been working on. So I don't think I sent this to Russ, I had just gotten it not too long ago. It includes power washing them and putting an algicide on them. The quote is for $1,550. So I think that's something that should be taken under advisement. I don't know if you guys wanna vote on it now or not. I am looking at funding for this. Our trail maintenance, fund is currently in the negative. We've already spent what we've appropriated for it. So I'm not sure if, I have reached out to the DLGF because that fund is not in our approved budget. It's a separate fund from what the DLGF monitors, so to speak. So I'm not sure if we would even have to do an additional appropriation since it's not one of the funds that they, have to, they approve. So it's something I have a question out for him. We could pay for it on a rainy day. It's just something for discussion. They are pretty slick. I walk the trails and they are pretty slick. There's a lot of buildup on
Algae
them.
on
And especially in the mornings from the dew and of course when it rains and stuff, but it's mainly when they're wet. But they are pretty slick, and I'm just worried about the liability also, about someone slipping and falling on them and getting hurt or.
If we get them clean, there's, used to be some type of tape that was real rough. A lot of people put them on their boat trailers and stuff like that for gripping.
I don't know how well it hold up the trail. A lot of those issues stem from the fact that those bridges are constantly wet. Basically, they're in the shade, and no matter what time of year it is, you'll never get them completely dried out. So even if you could get the tape, the grip tape to stick, it's gonna peel up at some point.
Okay, is there a metal type thing that we can put over that would have that grip?
I can explore some options.
You know, it's, to me, that we're gonna wash them and then they're gonna be right back at the same situation.
Yeah.
Then you put it on the roof.
Probably what's happening is, like Zach was alluding to, you're getting some type of bacterial slime on there.
Yeah,
So regardless of what you put on there, I mean, unless.
it's gonna come back.
Spikes, it's gonna be slippery at any rate. And I was even thinking something like, along the lines of like a hardware cloth, real fine mesh, I think, but it would still be the same.
It'll still get the nasty.
Yeah, but that does bring up the issue, we are supposed to be carrying liability insurance on the trail. I don't know if that's been enacted yet or not, but that was brought up some years ago. That may be something we need to look into. Yeah, that's one of the requirements of our agreement with NDOT. So, anyway,
How many bridges are there?
three.
Three.
Got two on Ashburn and, or one on Ashburn, two on Elgate.
You wanna do some checking, how we can pay that, and then maybe we can get it up, for the next meeting?
Same thing under roads and streets, I really have nothing other than we have not heard yet anything from NDOT with regards to community crossing grants. If no one has any questions, we'll move on to wastewater.
Have you looked at your inventory for salt
We
and,
have those salt, we have not been doing much salt.
Well, we haven't
had
any.
So,
our equipment?
just for the uninitiated, we do have an annual standing contract, with Great Lakes Salt. I believe I order approximately 60 ton every year, so.
Okay.
And I've probably got 180 ton in the shed right now.
So we could cure meat.
Yeah,
And-
well, pan hides, whatever, we make margaritas.
Good.
I go for that.
My pick.
Sounds like a plan.
What about the equipment and that, blades? and-
Typically, November 1 is the date when I have the guys go through and check everything. I mean, we've got fairly new equipment, so not really a big concern right now.
Okay,
We purchased a new truck in 18, with the truck got the plow, so.
thanks.
I know.
Yeah, I believe it. Under wastewater, new bids, we have, for the council consideration tonight, 5 bid packets, from vendors. These are for a mainline sewer camera. We are replacing an existing system that we have, and I'm glad you're all sitting down, but we've had this same camera system since 1996. We've repaired it, duct taped it, gorilla taped it as much as we can. We do rely on these cameras to respond to after-hours emergency, especially with lateral backups, main backups. Our existing camera has been down for a while, so it's typically an hour and a half before we get someone here, then it's, $1,300, $1,500, $2,000 bill every time they come up, so. And, with the talk of the recent rehab, you guys know what kind of problems we're facing in the system. So we do rely heavily on these cameras, and, again, tonight's bids are for a mainline camera system. This will be a trailer enclosed deal. All the accessories that go with the mainline camera. We also have in this bid, packet, for a push cable camera, which again is just a rigid power cable that you can push a camera down. Again, used with laterals, et cetera, like that, so. I believe we have 5 vendors over there. I can only remember 4. So we have Eco Infrastructure, Hoosier Equipment, 502, Best Equipment, and someone else.
Make it happen.
Russ, we're using this equipment for ourselves, right?
That's
Not
correct.
for the public?
Well, we do have it in our ordinance and in a rate scale for rental. Now, when we rent, we don't rent the equipment to somebody, we rent them the equipment and an operator. Again, that would be other municipalities, we've been doing that since the nineties, so.
Okay.
Go ahead and open.
Okay, monies for this, purchase is coming from our capital expenditure, capital project. I have here marked about 200,000, I believe I have ample amount budgeted, we'll find out.
Okay. Yes, we will.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
These are in no particular order, they're just as they were stacked here. This is from Eco Infrastructure Solutions, Inc. out of Whitestown, Indiana.
And all the formalities were taken care of, we advertised in the paper, all of the vendors got their packets in a reasonable amount of time.
Do you want me to read the total, or do you want, did you?
Well, it's a council desire, there should just be two main numbers at the end, I believe the push cable is separate as well
Yes,
as.
push is separate, but you're gonna buy both of them.
That's correct.
Okay, so the total price and all that's
Yes.
listed.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
$198,678.50. That's $198,678.50.
Hey, you got change coming
I
back.
know.
Why? Go to McDonald's now.
Big money. Oh, I don't think so. You can't go to McDonald's with that. $1 Coke.
This is from Hoosier Equipment LLC out of Plymouth, Indiana.
They're not gonna charge.
Cool. More change back
For
here.
you.
Gets 2 Cokes.
$205,112 even. $205,112.
Is there a particular brand you were looking at, or?
No, not necessarily. I will say that our existing is an old RST, or it is RST. I'm not sure if they're in business anymore. I think they are, but we've had it since 1996, and they don't live a very easy life, so, I would figure they have been pretty.
They've
sure.
done a great, yeah.
This is from JDC from Northville, Michigan.
JDC?
JDC,
Okay, that's one.
Juliet Delta Charlie. $120,739. That's $120,739.
Gotta check the specs. Check the specs.
Black and white, not color.
I know.
There's
There's
a
good-
drawing picture.
This is from Best,
Hand on the screen.
Best Equipment Company out of Indy.
Back to you for that.
Whole envelope's gonna tear. Yeah. Yeah. tear the waffle.
Okay. $163,458. That's $163,458. That's all I got.
No.
.502 equipment from LaGrange, Kentucky. $207,657. That's $207,657.
Can I make a motion? Or do we need to discuss? I'd like to make a motion that we put this under Russ's advisement, and you pick the one that fits your monetary availability as well as your specs.
Yeah, so do you want, I should bring recommendations to the next meeting, or just give me a not to exceed price?
Not to exceed the 200,000 that you, is that's what you budgeted or not? No, don't do that.
You need to award it to the lowest
Okay,
responsible
and then-
bidder.
but
subject-
then-
Subject to his review,
Okay.
make sure that it is in compliance.
That's
with
what I
the
wanted to say.
specifications.
Okay,
Yes.
so award the bid to JDC, who is the lowest bidder.
Apparent rules there.
Apparent, yes, but subject to specs
Correct.
as determined by Russ.
And if it doesn't, then you can come back to the next meeting.
And then, yeah,
If there's not, if he
Yeah.
finds that it doesn't meet
I
the
want one
specifications, then
first.
he'll have to come back to the next meeting.
and tell us,
It has to be, it has to be a difference.
yeah, that's too big a difference, yeah.
Did you notice how long those bids were good for?
Typically 30 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said, some would say 6 to 8 weeks. Which one was the lowest one?
The JDC,
JDC.
and then best, and then come.
Because if it's responsive, obviously it's, must be a good price. Estimated ship date, 3 to 4 months. It doesn't say how long it's good for.
Okay, we need to have a special meeting, let us know,
Yeah.
to move it forward.
Yeah, like I said, there are just several criteria that I want to go through and ensure, I mean, there were required documents that should be submitted, blah, blah,
How many different ways can you look at a pipe?
Jason said
Okay.
maybe you could put a bird
Well,
in a box.
he can
and have
take
it
it under
in a box.
advisement. Get back to it.
That is the best answer yet.
Okay. We have a motion on the table. Did we have a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a first and second, first by Trish, and the seconds by Jason and Mike.
After much guidance.
Any other decision, discussion? If not, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Let it be known, it passes 5-0.
Next, we have for consideration a pay request from Performance Pipeline Inc. Again, those are the folks doing the sewer line rehab in the village. We also have accompanying that a invoice from the Midwestern Engineers for construction engineering. And again, changing correct, I got my numbers correct, anyway. I believe the pay request from the DPI is $491,143.20.
Make a motion that we approve the performance pipelining invoice of $491,143.20.
Second.
Have a first and second from Trish and Jason on this. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Let it be known it passes 5-0.
We also have an invoice from Midwestern Engineers for their inspection, portion of that project for $16,783.75.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the invoice to Midwestern Engineers in the amount of $16,783.75.
Second.
I have a first from Mike and a second from Brian. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. All those
Aye.
opposed say nay. Let it be known it passes 5-0.
So I have on the wastewater, unless the council has questions.
Do we have a Copper Ridge or not?
That's
Okay,
Is there another invoice in here?
under Copper Ridge, yeah.
for water.
Water.
Oh, okay.
So under the water department,
Before you move on, who was the second lowest?
Oh, I've got it. It was Best Equipment at 163,458, and then Eco Infrastructure.
okay, you got the one.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have consideration of pay request from Copper Ridge Contracting for $91,312.58.
Okay, we have $91.05.
That's what's on
Oh,
there.
you know what, I apologize. They did it in the past, but that's right, this includes some stuff, yeah. So whatever number that you.
Should we go with this for now?
I'm sorry,
Should we go with this number for now?
the number that you have, what's the number?
$91,001.05.
Right, so again, this was the original pay request they had submitted, but they had some parts that we had sent back, so we had that deducted, so that.
So this is correct. Okay, I make a motion to approve a payment to Copper Ridge for $91,001.05.
Have a first and second from Trish and Jason to pay Copper Ridge. Any other discussion on this?
I just want to let you guys know that this money will be coming out of the water capital. They have exhausted the reimbursement for the EPA grant, so this is outside of that. So this will be coming out of the water capital. As approved by the water board.
Okay. Everybody okay with that? Can I have a motion to approve? I'm sorry, have that. All those in favor, say aye. All
Aye.
those opposed, say nay. Let it be known, passes 5-0. Yeah, I did too.
We also have an invoice from Midwestern Engineers for their engineering inspection on that project, $21,102.50.
I make a motion to approve the invoice from Midwest Engineers in the amount of $21,102.50.
Have a first and second from Mike and Jason to pay the Midwest Engineers. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. All
Aye.
those opposed say nay. Let it be known, passes 5-0.
So is that also coming out of water capital now?
Yes,
Okay, so everything from here, okay,
yes,
got it.
correct.
And how much was that grant for?
The one that's gone, yeah.
Approval of board.
1.2, I think, somewhere in that area.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely spent that, because we used to have a lot of big bills.
I have one more item under water, and we can briefly talk about the monthly utility report. But under new business, item D, the lead service line update. I'll start here. Last month's water and sewer bills, we had a little message on there regarding the potential of homeowners getting a letter asking if they know anything about their service line, yada, yada, yada. First of all, I want to apologize. That announcement seemed kind of cryptic because we're only allowed so many characters, so we had to, cut it down. So, did you all see it? You know what I'm talking about?
I didn't even look at it, yeah.
So So anyway, this goes back to our conversation of the nationwide effort to eradicate lead service lines in drinking water systems.
Right.
So we are working with a state affiliated company called 120 Water. And again, bear with me, because we're running this stuff new, it's coming in pretty quickly. So we have done an inventory, right? So we have every customer that's on our system, we've got the numbers. I think Jane helped a little bit on that, or I shouldn't say numbers, but addresses, also to the county auditor's office. We have everyone in the system now. So we are trying to ascertain if anyone has lead service line in the system. And we're pretty certain that we don't have any, if we do, if you wanted to. Any concern we may have would be in Lamar, Hill, they are older town in the city. So the announcement on the water and sewer bill was to just let folks know they may be doing a letter and take a survey, going back to what I said earlier about the water first line that they're building. So it's going to be an ongoing thing. I know if it's going to go through the current administration, I think it's set aside like $10 billion, something like that, some huge number to have this done in about 10 years, or something like that. So more to come on that. If anybody wants to learn more, come down and learn with me, because like I said, I'm learning this as well. So this last letter survey thing, we just heard about that like 2 weeks ago. So the number vendor got with those folks, and they sent us a boilerplate letter. So again, that may be seeing those announcements.
Okay.
With regards to my utility report, any questions on that? Same stuff, water plant proficiency or efficiency, whatever you want to call it. Talk about our lateral inspection program. Maybe one item of note is the cure to place piping. To date, we've had 33,000, just a quick over 33,000 feet. 33,000 feet of line prep for installation, we've got 24,000 feet installed, and then we've had some lateral work done as well. That's really it. I'll talk briefly about the water project. The 12 and the 16-inch water mains are installed. The 16-inch main has been flushed, pressure tested, and is online. It's actually in service right now. They did just get the 12-inch connected last week. They rinsed it last week, flushed it last week. They added their disinfectant Thursday. So today we took our first taxi sample off. We'll see, we'll have to get 2 negative samples before we put it online. Pretty common it'll pass. So once they get that done, we've probably got 12 water services to reconnect, and then 2 more main connections, and that project will be complete. And that is all I have.
Yeah, it's nice to see those fire hydrants out there along the road.
And there were several put into the project.
Thank you, Russ.
Thanks.
While Light's not there, I would probably recommend that you go ahead and allow him to award it to the second highest bidder if he deems this to be, they've got a lot of, he actually did a great job on your specs, by the way. He's got a nice checklist of the scope of equipment to be provided, and the lowest bid is missing a lot of things. They've actually checked no on these things that they're not providing.
Oh.
I'm not an expert on it, but it seems like it's probably some things that would make it non-responsive because there's just a lot
So,
of.
so how can I change my,
Well, you made a motion to allow him to award it to the second lowest bidder, or lowest bidder.
right, so now,
Now you can make a motion that if.
Okay, so I
he
wanna
finds- If he
amend-
finds that this is not responsive
okay.
due to its numerous deficiencies and the scope of equipment to be provided, that he is authorized to.
I'm
go
not
ahead and
gonna
award it
say
to
all
the
that.
Second.
I'm not gonna say all
lowest
that
bidder.
stuff. Okay.
If it is,
I
if it is.
I would like to amend my motion that if Russ finds the first lowest bid not acceptable, that the second lowest bid is allowed by this board.
And that'd be best equipment is the second. lowest.
Best equipment, yes. Sorry. I didn't say
Yeah.
that. And seconded already by Jason, so.
Second.
I have a first and second from Trish and Jason. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor for the revote? All those say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. let be known it passes 5-0. And like I said before, if you start going through this and first and second's not there, you need to let us know so we can have a special meeting.
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of criteria that you have to meet.
Yes.
to be on. It's not atypical, but it's
Okay, industrial park? Nothing from town attorney?
Oh, no, not for the industrial park. I do
Okay.
have two things for you, actually. The first is, I had emailed out to you earlier, an ordinance 2024-07, an ordinance amending ordinance 2005-14 regarding the business promotion account. This was spawned due to the State Board of Accounts. We had an ordinance from 2005 for business promotion account, which exactly quoted the State Board of Accounts language, which is still in their guidance of what you need to have in your business promotion account.
And I did send them a copy of our ordinance.
Yeah, and it was identical to their language that they recommend to be in your business promotion account, but Jane had asked them about candy that the town gives out at the trick-or-treat trail, and then her candy jar for the kids that come in, and occasional adults that steal sucker in there. But,
Wait,
and I was kind of floored to know that the clerk treasurer's office employees actually have been paying for that out of their own pocket. For the candy dish, they're on their front desk and things. But she had gone back and forth with an email exchange with the State Board of Accounts, and they said we need more specificity in our ordinance to allow her to spell on such things. So I've added items that she had suggested, like she does want, you know, if we have an open house, that she would like to be able to provide coffee and donuts. And they said, well, even though you say meals, technically coffee and donuts are not a meal. So you need to add that to your ordinance.
Don't forget
So
the
I-
does
sugar
this
and the
work,
creamer.
does this work, like if the fire department has it, does this work for them as well?
Well,
As
they-
long as it's
I think they
purchased?
usually do it out of their own.
Yeah,
We do it.
They do it out
Right.
of, they've got the
We
center.
have our own
Police
volunteer
department?
Yeah, if they would have anything, and they would be allowed to do this too.
Okay,
Any
good.
purchasing agent
Okay.
could use this. So I added not just donuts, but donut holes. I thought about adding pastries.
I know, I wanted donut
I thought about
holes
adding all
and donuts.
pastries, strudels, coffee cake, make a list about 100 miles long. of
Cinnamon
everything.
rolls.
I like to have
That's right.
butter with my
Yeah.
coffee cake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I thought about being a real smart aleck, and I just put donut holes on there. Just to
I know, I wanted
give it a
that.
bit of a-
I really wanted
So I
donuts.
really thought about making a big list of getting my thesaurus out.
Yeah.
But, I think this should cover. it
You also
includes-
said not limited
It
to, so
includes the
that's,
plates and napkins, supplies for those,
Yes.
because they also told her that even though you provide for meals, that doesn't allow for you to buy the plates and forks and cups. So we've added the supplies necessary to hold any meals or open houses.
And I just wanna add to that, this is the events that we are currently participating in that he added. But the State Board of Accounts did say that, like, for instance, if the Visitors Bureau should have an open house at their new building and want the town to participate in setting up a table there, if we hand anything out at that event, this will have to be amended again to include that event.
I've tried to.
And specifically what we are handing out at that event. So,
well, he did put in here
I have other,
parades, open houses, other events in which the
Right.
town participates. You think that's gonna cover it?
so Kevin has tried to,
I hope so.
whether sponsored by the town or another unit. that we have,
Yes.
Or organization, so we cover you on,
Yes,
if the optimists ask us to come and.
we're gonna hope that covers it.
right.
I'm hoping it covers it.
Yeah.
If
I don't
I
think
can
they'll take you to
specifically
that.
ask them about what if we get invited to
Right. A fest,
Memorial
yeah.
Hospital
Right.
doing some kind of thing at one of the churches and they want us to come
Mhm.
participate. And they did say that, you know, each event would have to be literally put into the ordinance, and I asked him, I'm like, so you're telling me this ordinance has to keep getting amended over and over and over again? So Kevin has done a pretty good job of trying to,
Cover it.
Give them
Give
as much
them-
carte blanche as they can, as far as being able to.
now, that's not saying that if we ever participate in another event, we don't know how that's gonna go when it comes to be audited, but just to give you the heads up
We'll
that
see.
we may get our hands slapped,
Yeah.
but Kevin has done tried to do a very detailed job to try to incorporate,
Good.
us being able to participate more in community events and, set things up without it coming out of the employees.
Can we do both readings tonight? Because Halloween's a coming before our next meeting.
We're not gonna participate this time, I'm just volunteering to help Zach, so
Okay.
it's not, I'm a dire need. We'll get it approved at the next meeting for the second reading to include the Christmas parade. So I'm not in a big hurry, but, it is something that I think needs to be, I don't think it's fair that the employees should have to pay
No.
for the town to participate in events. And,
I agree.
especially when we have a promotional account that's supposed to be used to be able to promote the town. I mean, so,
It's only logical.
Especially as it tracks their exact language that they
Yeah.
have in their guidance to us. We did it back in 2005, and it exactly is the language that they told us to put in.
But that person's not there anymore.
Yeah,
Red tape.
yeah, some new interns there.
Yeah.
well, this, I believe this to be good guidance, because this came from someone who is higher up at the State Board of Accounts. I mean, it's not a new employee, he's very knowledgeable, he's kind of the in-charge person. So I think the information he's giving us is accurate information, as much as I don't necessarily agree with it, but, we just have to follow what they tell us to do, so.
Is this
I would
first
ask
reading?
Kevin to.
Yes.
First reading.
to-
All right.
Yeah,
I'll
and
make-
if there's more than a month in advance, they can always come to you beforehand and say, hey. And that's probably the best thing to do, because doomsday scenario would be State Board of Accounts in 5 years brings this up in an audit and says, well, you spent $52.62 on candy, and that was not authorized, it's not specifically in the ordinance. And it wasn't authorized by the town council, so Jane has to pay that back out of her own personal funds to the town, because she did it unauthorized. But as long as she knows in advance, she can come to you before and say, hey, we're gonna be spending about $100 on candy for the Optimus punt pass and
Right.
kick contest or something, they want us to come down and put up a table. So you can always make a motion to authorize her to spend it beforehand, which would also cover her if she knows in advance of when it's coming up, so. That would be what would happen if they decide in an audit that this was an unauthorized expenditure, not authorized by ordinance or the town council.
Because we have it
All right, I make a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 2024-07, an ordinance amending ordinance 2005-14 regarding the business promotion account.
First and second from Mike and Brian. Any discussion? Do we want to add April Fool's date to this?
It says, but not limited to.
I never thought there'd be so much discussion about Tootsie Roll.
I know, but not limited to. It's in there several times.
Not, you don't get two of them?
No, not limited to.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Let be known, it passes 5-0, where we can have Tootsie Rolls or whatever. Donut holes, glazed or non-glazed.
The only other thing, I got an email from James Day, because, the Visitors Bureau has applied for the Recreation Economy for Rural Communities grant. It's a planning grant that focuses on outdoor recreation, and I didn't see what time Melissa's email to Jane was, but I got it about 3 o'clock, so I did whip out a letter of support. They were asking us for a letter of support to send into the EPA. And of course, because it was a time crunch, I missed a typo on the front page. My spell check didn't pick up that it's United States instead of United Stated, so I can read it on the front page. But all it says is that basically gives them some fluff language about all of our projects that we've done. We've spent millions of dollars on outdoor recreation, trying to interconnect, made Santa Claus into a multi-day night or even week-long trip for families versus a day trip. We've worked extensively with the Spencer County Visitors Bureau, and so we wholeheartedly support the Spencer County Visitors Bureau's application for the
So moved.
Okay, second.
Have first and second from Mike and Tricia on this. All those in favor, say
Aye.
aye. All those opposed, say nay. Let be known, it passes 5-0 for me to sign.
That's all I got.
You go get me another copy of that.
That doesn't say stated?
Yeah, luckily it was on the first page, so yeah, you can sign the second page.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Okay, good, good.
I'll get you after the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, beautiful.
What I've got first up is, I had presented this packet that you have here, to the water board at their meeting about outsourcing our, utility billing to voice. There is a couple reasons that, I would like to do that. The first reason is the post office has notified us that they have new machinery at, I guess we send our mail to Louisville now, is my understanding. So they have new machinery at the Louisville branch that is not able to process the bill cards. When they run them through, they're getting separated, because ours are
Yeah.
perforated in the middle, so they're getting separated, and they don't, sometimes they get them back and they don't know, they only have one half of them, and they don't know who they go to, if it's the half that doesn't have the address on it. They're getting smeared. Some people aren't getting their bills at all. Some people are getting them way late because they get stuck in the machine and then they find them at a later date and process them. So that is one cause for concern because the community is really the one suffering, they're getting penalties added to their bills if they're not getting their bills on time. They're not getting their bill at all. Of course, everyone knows or should know that the utility bills are due on the 26th of the month. So, if they haven't received their bill, they should be notifying us. But anyway, that's one of the concerns is that the bill cards that we're currently using has become an issue. The other concern that I have is, like Russ had alluded to, on the bill cards, the information that we can provide to the consumers is very limited. It's a very small line. It's hard to get any information out to them. With the new bills, you see, if you look further back in the thing, there are examples of what the utility bill looks like, what the delinquent notice looks like, and what the disconnect notice is gonna look like. So if you look at your normal utility bill, and we can have voice set it up however we want, so this is all kind of interchangeable if there's things we want to add or do differently. But, above the perforated line, there's a pretty good size of space for us to put all kinds of information on there. I recently looked at Ferdinand uses them, and they had several different events put on there, times, everything. It was a pretty big space. So to be able to get information out is going to be a lot more beneficial. And the customers are going to see more information on their bill. Also, as you can see, there's a graph of their year's consumption. It actually shows how many gallons they consumed this year. It also gives them the opportunity, different ways that we accept payment on there. There's just a lot more detailed information. So I did some figuring with the numbers. That's the first page that you have here. It looks like, from what I've calculated up, we're currently spending 88 cents for each bill to go out. With the Keystone, this is with all the bells and whistles, with return envelopes, things that are optional. The top expense is 92 cents, so 4 cents more than what we're currently spending. The water board has opted to not do the return envelope to reduce the cost, and also not do the change of address service to reduce the cost. And you'll see that on this sheet here. So without those two added benefits, it brings it back down to the same cost that we're spending. It takes it from the 92 cents down 4 cents to the 88 cents.
So right now, we don't have a return envelope.
We don't have a return envelope right now. And we don't have, on the bill cards, we don't have any way for
Right.
them to change their address anyway, they would have to notify us.
Okay.
So, those are added benefits we can add on,
Mhm.
but we're not currently providing a return envelope. And that was
Yeah, if
kind of
we're
the water
not.
board's decision, is we're not currently providing those two services. And by taking that off, we could be spending the same amount of money as we're currently spending. The bottom part is I did price out us printing the voice invoice ourselves and, using a machine to stuff them and postage them and all of that stuff. And you can see those breakdown of those prices there. It's just not feasible. The machine itself, is $13,500. But even without that purchase, I mean, just us buying the envelopes, us buying the special paper, the postage is more expensive if we do it. It's 69 cents for us to meter it. It costs boys 62 cents because of the volume amount that they do. They get a better rate. So with all of that, it would cost us $1.29 each for us to do it in-house. So that's not, to me, even a feasible option. The options really are, we just keep doing what we're doing with the bill cards, or we try to switch to voice and have them do the billing. There is a $1,500 charge to set it all up into our system for setting up the invoice how we want it. So that would be a one-time fee to set it up, and then it would just basically be what we're currently paying anyway.
So
Yeah,
we
no-
would want to change something on it,
It's
is it would be
okay.
another setup fee down the road?
Like, we wanna add little blurbs down there or do something?
No, when we do like the things we wanna change monthly, there's no additional fees for any
Okay.
of that. We can just put that in ourselves like we currently are doing. But if we want, like a completely different invoice or something, yeah, there would
Then
probably
we-
be an additional setup fee to completely change it. But we would have editable space to put, different things we wanna communicate to the community. Another service that they offer is, if we give them, I think they told me 2 weeks lead time, if we want an additional flyer put in with the invoice, that we could send that to them, and they would also add an additional flyer in there. So if we ever needed to add something
Not for an
completely
extra
different,
fee, or,
it would be an extra
A
fee.
stuffing, yeah.
A stuffing
Mhm.
fee, but, it is an option if we ever
Yeah.
needed to send out
right, a no
a
worries.
survey
Yeah.
or some kind of notice that we needed to get out. Instead of us paying postage twice,
Right,
we could send it to them, they could put it in with the water bill, and it would all go out to all the customers. There would be an additional fee for that, but it would probably still
would
be
save.
something we
Oh,
could,
yeah.
we could look at. It would probably save instead of doing additional mailings for different things.
Now, will that change your billing cycles? and
It will
stuff?
change the billing cycle a little bit, and I have talked at the water board meeting with Chris, and, then they would have to read earlier. We have to get the file to, boys 3 days before we want it to go into the mail. They have to have a 3-day lead time.
And you file that electronically?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we file it electronically, so they set it up in our software system, they download all the meter stuff. The girls would have to have a day to make any adjustments, changes, review all the stuff. They currently do that anyway, but they would have to have all of that. And then it goes into like a mag file that gets sent electronically to voice. So they do need it 3 days in advance. So the guys would have to have like a set read day, and that would just be the day that we would have to have the reads by.
Where is this company based out of?
They're our current software utility program. I think they're in Indianapolis.
Daleville.
Daleville.
That's who we use for our payroll, our utility billing, our regular fund account billing. It all goes through voice currently.
Okay.
So Jane, one thing we didn't talk about, I didn't realize, I guess, is like the delinquency notice and the disconnect notice, is that in addition to, or would that be another 88 cents per?
Because there's separate
Right,
pages.
Right, but we currently pay additional for those
Yeah,
two,
I'm just-
so it would be basically the same cost, because we would still send out the same amount in delinquent bill cards as we would send
And
them out.
disconnect.
Yeah.
Do we send those disconnect out certified mail or,
Mhm.
okay.
We should just put door hangers out.
Yep.
Really?
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
Can't deny it, can you?
I like it.
So does the water board
They've
go
said,
for it?
yay,
Yeah, the water board has approved it, but we would need approval from the council since part of it would come out of the sewer. And if Russ is in agreement with the
Yeah.
water board.
you good with it?
It does appear though that there's a lot of shifting going on with the White Horse Board doing their stuff and different things. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be something new again, we'll have to work it into our schedule. So if I'm correct, the drop dead date is the 10th of the month.
Mhm.
So we would have to have it to the clerk's office, 6, 7, something like that. 6 or
Right.
7. And, yeah, I kind of, it's a gated thing, but.
Well, and I mean, it's something that we can discuss.
Can we
and
change
table
the-
till- I mean, we're not gonna be able to do anything
Yeah.
right away anyway,
Yeah.
so.
Do we
can
need to change
table
our
it.
due dates?
That would be her call, I don't know if the.
You know, we gotta have-
Dates up.
I
Yeah.
think that's the hardest thing to change for people who,
No.
it's
I-
always been the
yeah,
26th.
um,
You know what I mean?
Well, and everything,
Well,
like.
actually, the mail out dates have changed over the years. I
Yeah.
get that. But typically they go out, they don't come back, so.
Yeah.
they have to come back. But no, it's just like anything, we may have a few. you go.
Yeah, I would like to leave the due dates the same and the send outs the same. There would be some kinks to work out, you know.
So
The first
is-
couple months may be, you know, a challenge like with anything when you try to switch over, but
So is there a backup if say you didn't get it there 3 days prior, what would happen if you didn't?
it would go out on, I would assume it would not go out on the date
So
that we
there's no
needed to
backup,
go out
no-
on.
We'll go back to the billing system from here, there's nothing like that.
No, I mean,
Just
we would just
So-
have to have hard
If we go out,
deadlines for the water department and, you know, for the utility and for my office. I mean, we would just have to have. I mean, right now, the guys read different days, you know,
Right.
some cycles are shorter, some cycles are longer. I mean, we would just have to have a set day that they would have to have the reads done by this day, you know? I mean, and my girls would have to have all the adjustments and everything done. I mean, everyone would just have to focus on hard deadlines. I mean, it just wouldn't be an option. We would have to get the file to them. I mean, it's kind of like same thing with payroll, you know? I have a hard deadline to get payroll to Spencer County Bank if everyone wants paid. I mean, it's not a flexible deadline. It's a deadline. It has to go to the bank on this day. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, everyone would just have to work together.
Yeah, and I guess that's what I'm saying.
You know.
The utility department meets multiple deadlines every
Right.
week, every month, so I'm accustomed to that. But again, just if there would be, you know, if we decide to pull the trigger on this thing, there might be a month or two where, hey, we had 12 water main leaks and 5 pump
Right.
stations down. It's just not gonna happen. So I guess I was assuming there would be a backup plan if it didn't happen for whatever reason.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be something that would have to be discussed, whether we would be able to do it the old fashioned way. The thing is that, I mean, the goal would be not to purchase bill cards that we're not going to be using.
Right.
But I mean, we may have some emergency ones on hand, I guess, but.
Yeah, I'm just speaking hypothetically.
No, I know.
No, I-
No, I know. I mean, it's something to.
Emergency time.
The ball bounces the same way every day, don't it?
If only.
If
Right.
only,
Kind of like
Exactly.
football.
Depends what court or field you're on.
yeah.
Okay, so
So-
we don't wanna do anything with this
No,
tonight?
I mean, we can discuss it further and have. a better
Okay.
plan. We can
Yeah,
vote on
I
it
mean,
next month.
maybe
or-
you and I and Chris need to get heads together and, you know, bounce this thing back and forth and see what the realities are.
Bring it back to us next month?
Yeah,
We can do that.
work with
Okay.
me.
Okay,
Okay.
we table it.
Okay, the next thing that I have is the second reading Ordinance 2024-06 is the ordinance or resolution for appropriations and tax rates for our budget. And I included in your packet, and I will just read it line by line. No changes from the previous first reading. So I have Casino Riverboat, 17,500. Rainy Day, 75,000. General, 955,162. Local roads and streets, 60,000. Motor vehicle highway, 74,850. Cumulative building, 75,000. Police, 3,000. That's his special fund, not
Yeah,
this one.
right.
Cumulative fire special, 295,000. Recreation, 182,355. Cumulative cap improvements, 10,000. Cumulative capital development, 225,000. Economic development tax seated, 270,000. Redevelopment general, 5,000. Industrial development, 50,000. TIF A and C allocation, 785,400. User deferral program, 500. Law continuing ed, 1,500. TIF industrial, 100,000. And then the Santa Claus trails, $13,250.
Need a motion for that?
And this will be adopting it.
Make a motion for the second reading and adoption of ordinance 2024-06, ordinance and resolutions for appropriations of tax rates.
I'll make it second.
Okay, I have a question before we vote.
Okay.
All right, so this is the budget for next year.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, and the accounts that we're gonna pull the money out of, correct? I mean, these are the amounts that we budgeted out of.
These are the amounts that we have budgeted for
Right.
these accounts.
And that comes to a total of $2,247,867, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
and then there's the whole new
Then there's
funds on the back.
950, 650.
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but yes,
Okay, in this town fund report that you gave us, okay, it shows the balance in all of those accounts of $6,123,534, right?
yes.
And recently, we had discussions about extra money that we have, and the State Board of Accounts, or DGLF1, was talking about how we were digging into why we'd have to watch our budget because we're spending more money.
Well,
And,
it's certain funds. We have money in, like these cume caps. I mean, we have budgeted, I got to look at the front report, but like the cume cap development, we budgeted 225,000. There's more money in that account than that. That's
Right.
just what we budgeted. But that can only be used for certain things.
correct, I
So
know.
they are more concerned about the general budget because we keep adding recurring expenses above. That's the only thing that they're concerned about is, they're concerned about the general, the 955,160.
All right. So,
But
we do have an excess of funds
We do.
of almost $4 million. But I know we have to keep some in there, but I just want to make sure that people understand what the actual money involved in the town is, how much that
When we
we
start-
are. We're not out like other communities, you know, having
No,
to
right.
to issue general obligation bonds. The point is that the town councils that have been here for the last 25 years at least have done a great job
Absolutely.
of taking care of the town's money and spending it reasonably and having enough reserves to keep the town financially secure.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. My comment is, on this, that we need to be particular about what we're spending money on, and we need to try to live within our budgets that we assign to each department. And that we shouldn't be spending more than what we need to be spending. Not talking about big projects that we got the money saved for and that, I'm just talking about everyday life.
Yeah.
That we need to stay within, so. And I think that's where the state board account,
We do have some good projects coming up.
Oh,
We
yes.
can use some of that
Very
surplus
good.
money on.
Right.
That's in these special funds. I mean, I think that's where, I shouldn't say it's just a misconception, but yes, you're looking at a large sum of money, but some of that money is tied up in TIF and other things that can only be spent for certain things. And I think that's just the main thing that, the general public also needs to know is it's not just $6 million that we can spend on whatever we want, any project we want. A lot of that money is tied to specific,
Right.
and you're aware of that, but,
Right.
I mean, the general public needs to be aware of that too, that I don't want it,
It's not just money we're saving back.
Biggest
right,
expense
and
is
we do
operating.
have some really
It's
good,
Operating
versus
budget.
capital.
Right.
That's the difference. It's
Right.
operating versus capital.
exactly, operating versus capital is, that's what I was trying to get to.
okay. Any other discussion from anybody? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Let it be known, it passes 5-0. And that will become effective January 1st, right?
Correct. The only thing else I have, I need to be working on the salary ordinance, to be presented at the next meeting for the first reading. Is there anything anybody wants to change, anything, discussion we need to have regarding, I know we discussed the actual pay for the employees, but there's other things in the salary ordinance. One of the things we're taking out is Zach's commission based part that is in the salary ordinance, and that was discussed at a previous meeting.
Yes.
But other things that are in the salary ordinance are like the safety bonus, the holiday bonus, cell phone stipends, paid holidays, things like that. Is there any discussion before I type up the ordinance for the first reading of anybody wanting to?
Is
Is
there
that-
any reason for
anything?
discussion with your departments?
I would like to just review mine, or review the salary ordinance. What's the drop dead date now?
I'll bring it to the first reading, will be at the November meeting, and then adopt it at the December
So then
meeting,
we'll talk about it.
so that those
I
changes
don't
can be
know,
in place
the
for
last time
January.
we've increased like the, safety bonus and holiday.
Right.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah, so I don't know,
Mm.
I don't know if any of that wants to be a topic.
Yeah.
Why don't you send us, email us out with the
The
current,
salary ordinances.
Yes,
So
we
we
can
can
look
see.
it over.
so.
Okay.
That's really all I can think of that I want to consider, 'cause I think
It's a safety.
my pay rate are probably enough to take care of any annual increases that they get. Not
Okay.
all of them, just to be sure.
Okay.
Everybody's okay with their cell phone stipends? I don't know what those are at.
Yeah.
$45.
Yeah, I don't know if we've ever changed those. They've ever increased, I think they've been the same as they were.
It used to be 65, they lowered it to 45.
Was it?
In 2014, I think, it was lowered to 45.
That's very well could be.
Yeah, it was 65.
Probably not right.
One thing I would like to talk about possibly is increasing the holidays. I brought that up last year.
Oh, yeah. Adding
There are
them.
certain holidays
Mhm.
that we are currently open for that.
Like today.
Like
Today.
Yeah, today.
But there are a couple that I would like to see added, Veterans Day for one.
Yeah,
I
I think
agree
that's a
with
pretty
that.
important holiday that we should be acknowledging as a holiday. There are a few, I think the holidays.
I
should
thought
be looked at.
election day on the years that the town has elections, that we would be closed,
Okay.
but not the federal,
Mhm.
The other one was Martin Luther King's Day,
Yeah,
I
that's
thought,
one of them.
and
Juneteenth was one that was brought up last year.
Juneteenth. I wouldn't do Columbus Day, but Banks and,
Indigenous Peoples' Day.
yes,
Banks did.
Indigenous
Not all
Peoples' Day.
banks did Columbus Day.
I'm looking at my card.
We can do that, Indigenous Peoples' Day. You're speaking my language, Kevin.
So, we bring that up again. I send you my list that I originally sent back in June, was it?
So I can send out the current salary ordinance, so you can look at, not necessarily just the pay, because we've already decided that, but all the other little
Yeah,
things that are
that's
in
the thing I'd
there.
like to see,
And
all
if
that.
any of that needs to be updated, changed.
Will you send it out to them too, so they can, yeah,
I
and then they
send
can
out
look
to
it
all the
over and
department
see.
heads and everyone, that way, you know, we can have the first reading in November and still open it
And
up for
still- right,
discussion and make
right.
changes. But
So everybody be sure to look at that
But I
and
do
see if
think
there's
that's
stuff
something
you
that I'd
think.
like to review, just to make sure everyone, you know. Other than that,
Hey, Russ, I know you got somebody on call every weekend. What do you do when all heck breaks loose and you need more than just the on-call person? You just call people on?
We have contingencies, yeah, one minor thing we do is if it's a water issue, you call the next water guy, water supervisor, wastewater, you call wastewater supervisor. It's a chain reaction, we're pretty fortunate in that, we're all
Yeah,
local.
I've seen the whole.
And we really have no life outside of this, so we're typically always available.
and that's another part of that.
They just bring the salt shakers to the water.
It's all those little things, I just wanna make sure it's,
So, yeah, I
you
mean,
know.
yeah, we have a kind of chain of command, whatever you wanna call it, contingency for that, so.
Yeah, I've seen all forces hit before.
Oh, yeah, like cockroaches don't come out of nowhere, we're everywhere.
Hopefully they're not up
Another
there.
thing I would like to throw out just for topic of discussion for the salary ordinance is longevity pay bonuses. That is something other towns are doing. It's something we don't even currently have in place, but it's something that I would like to be entertained, and I can, get copies of what other
Yes,
towns
please.
are doing to include in your email. But mainly, they all do it different. Some do it for every single year. What I was mainly thinking is to do it for major milestones. If someone's been here for 5 years, 10 years,
Right,
15, 20, 25, 30, you know, they get some
A
kind of a
perk.
longevity bonus. So it wouldn't be something that every employee would get every year. And I think it's just something that is nice
no
to
recognition.
acknowledge long-term employees that
Recognition.
have been with the town for a long time.
Yep.
And I think that's something that maybe we should consider adding as a benefit to the
There'll be a
employees also.
grandfather clause in there.
Yeah.
Intended.
And we can bring it up during the budgeting time for
I
next
think you
year.
have to start from
Yeah,
page
I mean,
one.
have it ready for that, yeah.
Right, but that is something I'm just throwing out there as
All right.
ideas that come to mind. I don't have anything else, so
All right.
miscellaneous.
I have a couple miscellaneous. Melissa Arnold, the Spencer County Visitors Bureau is doing a thing called Creative Convergence, and we have to go to a conference first. And then after the conference, we're hoping to get $10,000 and we're gonna apply it first to Santa Claus. It is Melissa and me, and then Lacey Kilbarger, who's an art teacher at 2 of our schools, and Shelley Goodrich, who owns Good Life Designs. But we're trying to come up with, it's a $10,000 grant that would allow us to do something to connect our community to the Santa Claus theme, to make it. So that's what we're talking about. We have no idea where it's going exactly. It's a conference that I'll be going to in November for 2 days, and we'll see what happens. So hopefully we'll get the 10,000, and we can plan from there. And that's just informational. Second thing is I would like to have a proclamation for Mr. Patrick Arnold created for the town. I'd like us to make a proclamation. The man's been here since Christmas Lake Village was envisioned almost, and has made a huge difference in this community. And people who have moved here, even since 2000, probably don't know his significance. It was in the 70s when Pat Arnold started this. And so since he has passed, I would like it if we could create a proclamation honoring him.
Are you looking at a particular day in mind to have this, or?
I
Should
can
we
find
tie
out
it-
like when his birthday is, or,
You would have it, I mean, before we've done it like Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I know, we've
Or
done it-
Name it like Pat Arnold Day or something in the town of Santa Claus.
yeah. Yeah, we
It's
could.
up to you guys, I mean,
Yeah,
how you wanna do it.
What do you think?
When's his birthday? Is a birthday coming up
Yeah, I don't
shortly?
know, I'll find out.
Yeah, that's something to consider too.
I'll,
I mean, I
Or
agree
do it
100%.
on Christmas Eve, so
yeah, I know,
Yeah.
we've always done Christmas Eve,
name it like whatever day.
yeah. Do you wanna just do that, Christmas
Yeah,
Eve?
that's
Would
fine.
that be?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm not gonna find out when his birthday is, we'll just do Christmas Eve. Don't wanna get my hopes up.
Yeah, we can announce that at the December meeting prior to the, is that prior to the play?
Yeah.
He was
Great.
born on September 12, 1943.
You are so dang good. Anyway, September 12th, let's do Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
They're also talking, they want to have something monumental, meaning a monument, like a bench or something. And Christmas Lake Village is talking about having it within the village, and we have collected money because the money was donated to Town of Santa Claus. But since that money was donated to Town of Santa Claus, that's not really affiliated with Christmas Lake Village. So I just want to throw that whole, just, there it was. That's all I'm throwing out there. So do we get involved?
Is the town's not in?
The town was given
People
the
donate.
donations.
To the
Why
town.
are they doing it Christmas Eve?
Okay,
Yeah.
that's, I just needed to throw it out. Okay,
That's what I said before.
good, yes, yes.
It's not a public improvement if it's within.
Okay.
Christmas Village.
All right, got it.
We need 2 new benches out here, so.
Yeah, I know. It would be a good place to put one, yeah. Yeah.
Any other miscellaneous?
So you would check with the family on that, or?
On the
what they're-
Christmas, I will talk to them again and see
Okay.
what's going down.
Okay.
Yeah. Have we received any more funds for that? Just on the funeral day? Yes, okay. So it's not enough money for a bench?
No.
How much do we know?
It's like 80, was that it?
I think it's 150 or 250.
Maybe 250. And, you know, we can even, I don't know, a plaque or something, I don't know. I'll keep in touch with the family about it.
How much is a bench?
A bench is a lot, a lot.
Depends on materials, I mean, it could be a couple thousand.
Yep, a lot.
A plaque is probably more realistic.
Yes, it is. Like what, does Glenn still have his down at the park?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like that. I was thinking maybe a memorial little garden plaque thing, majiggy. We'll just see. I'll talk to them. Okay, vouchers, Mary.
Vouchers, okay, I have general vouchers in the amount of $333,542.11.
Make a motion to approve the general voucher in the amount of $333,542.11.
Have a first,
Second?
have a second from Mike. All those in favor of approving this voucher in that amount, $333,542.11, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Let it be known, it passes 5-0.
I have payroll vouchers in the amount of $92,290.03.
Make a motion to approve the payroll voucher in the amount of $92,290.03.
Second.
Have a first from Jason and a second from Brian for the payroll vouchers in the amount of $92,293.03. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Let it be known, it passes 5-0.
I have wastewater vouchers in the amount of $162,479.37.
Make a motion to approve the wastewater voucher in the amount of $162,479.37.
Second.
Have a first and second from Jason and Trish to pay the wastewater voucher in the amount of $162,479.37. All those in favor, say aye. All those
Aye.
opposed, say nay. Be known, it passes 5-0.
Marker, A,
A or
A.
I'll send you all this. This is
Okay.
it's just for him.
I figured it was, I was just
You
gonna
gotta mark
scooch it out of
yes
his
or no,
way.
A or an
I don't want
A.
him to get all confused.
I'll send you all this whenever I get it scanned in tomorrow.
Okay.
Jason didn't check that. You need to check
He
the
did,
box.
he's got it checked. It's just little.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's got it,
Okay.
yeah. I saw it. Oh, yes.
Son is little, and then my daughter, little.
Motion to adjourn?
Have a first, have first and second to adjourn from Mike and Brian. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay.
It's yin yang and boy, I'm a March birthday, but I love it. He's got a green eye, you know, but they're very realistic. I love it. I do. It was a big step for me because as a teacher, I never had people, but I've always wanted, you know, I've got one on my back and